I just got the worst pick in this fantasy football draft at pick 7. And here it kind of sucks because we're going to be boxed out of the top 6 players, right? We're not going to be able to get Jefferson, Lamb, Gibbs, Bijan, Barkley, Chase. Now, what is interesting is Jacoby Myers just requested a trade. They just signed Amari Cooper. One, I want to see, does Amari Cooper get drafted here? And two, where does Brock Bowers go? Because Bowers has to rise given the departure of Jacoby Myers, just opening up additional targets in this offense for the tight end position. So if we were looking at where Bowers typically was going in these underdog drafts, he typically was going in like the middle to the end of the second round. If he makes it to me at the 206, I probably will go ahead and take him at this point, and we'll build around the elite tight end and see what that kind of looks like now. But we'll see. And also I want to see, are people excited about Jacoby Myers leaving Las Vegas? Because in theory, you can say like, oh, okay, maybe we should get excited that you have no Gino, you have a better offense, right? Because how many offenses could possibly be worse for Jacoby Myers to go to? I mean, the absolute worst thing possible would be he goes to the Jets, right? But there are a lot of offenses that would be a significant step upwards. I mean, maybe he finds himself back with the Patriots, and honestly, the Patriots could be much, much better as well. And you know what I just saw? Dear God, the devs just put out the official site update. From the time that we were live to the time that we were starting this new one, I haven't checked Discord. I'm sure the devs messaged me, but we've kind of teased this over the past few days. Told y'all this was going to get dropped this weekend. It looks like it gets dropped on Monday. But if y'all want to go and check out the new website, oh my gosh, this thing looks good. But here we are going to be on the clock, and we're going to take Christian McCaffrey. I mean, with McCaffrey, this is a $10 underdog tournament, $50,000 for first place. But oh my gosh, the devs cooked something special here. Are y'all seeing this? It looks like everybody in the chat is loving. I told y'all if y'all got a season pass, you're going to be happy with what was coming your way. The new site, this is your new league dashboard. You can see your starting lineup. You can go ahead and see all the information that you need to. Oh, this is looking nice, and this is looking good for us. And that's just one of the many upgrades the site just got. This is incredible. This is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so damn excited. But yeah, not good job, Mason. Good job, devs. That is. I told y'all. What did I say? I said, we've been working. But here, Genty off the board at 13. So it looks like Genty doesn't slide up. Are we going to end up getting Bowers at 18? Or are we going to see Bowers stay behind Achane? And honestly, F it. I'm going to take Bowers at this point. No Jacoby Myers. Give me Brock Bowers over to Von Achane. Let's run with it. Peter says, it looks like a top shelf site. Well, it looks like a top shelf site because it is a top shelf site. And it looks like one thing that there are going to be, I'm sure, a couple like little random bugs that you see as you operate. Like this was just a massive update that they pushed. And you're supposed to be able to scroll left to right here with those players to see all the best waiver wire options. So like that will be something that's I will bring up with them in the meeting tomorrow, but that's going to help. But yeah, Deonta Thornton, I don't think moves up too much with our ranks, but because the thing is Thornton like kind of played a different role and it looked like he was going to be a starter there regardless. The player that moves up a ton in these underdog best ball drafts is going to be Jack Besh. In your regular redraft league, Jack Besh probably doesn't move up too much. But obviously, there's going to be a difference between these underdog best ball drafts and your regular redraft league. Like, just in case you haven't drafted with us here, this is the $10 Flock Fantasy Tournament. This is on Underdog Fantasy. We have these every Sunday nights, Tuesday nights, and Friday nights. $10 buy-in, $10,000 to first place. You can see all the prizes down the line. If you want to see how you get that crazy prize, have to be the highest scoring team in your 12-team draft in weeks 1 through 14. Then week 15, you have to beat someone. Week 16, you have to beat someone. Week 17, you're in a 100-person final. And if you're the highest scoring team, then you turn your $10 into $10,000. But let's see. We are going to take a wide receiver here regardless. When you go running back, tight end, we are all of a sudden playing catch up at wide receiver. Mike Evans goes. We will take Tyreek Hill as our first receiver off the board at 31. But wide receivers are going to be more important in these underdog drafts because since they're best ball, you're not submitting your starting lineup every single week. That's automatically done for you at the end of every single week. That's how I can draft so many of these teams. And also, there's no waiver wire and there are no trades. So those random wide receivers like Jack Bash or Deonta Thornton, like if they have a random like super good week in week 6 where you never expect it, but Deonta Thornton has 2 random long receiving touchdowns, he'll immediately slide into your starting lineup. So people hammer in their wide receivers on Underdog. And with that in mind, you kind of have to make sure you don't fall behind early on. And again, if you are not already on Underdog, I would love to draft with you. And Underdog just dropped by far and away the best promo that they've ever had. We always leave the link to join Underdog Fantasy in the description, comment section of these live streams. It says draft with us here. And if you use promo code FLOCK when you sign up to Underdog Fantasy and you play $5, which they have $5 Underdog tournaments out right now, you can actually get $50 immediately added to your account. So just use code FLOCK, play a $5 tournament, and you'll have $50 added in your account for you to play with. Insane. And also at the same time, you actually are going to be able to get all of our 2025 fantasy football draft guide cheat sheets if you use code FLOCK as well. And this will get sent to the email address that you signed up to Underdog Fantasy with. But you do need to be in one of these states if you want to draft on Underdog. And I will say another player that may matter in like an Underdog draft, and if you're not looking at the map right now, it's available in pretty much every single state. It's just like 5 states it's not in. But another player that will matter in these Underdog best ball drafts that won't matter in your regular redraft league is Amari Cooper. Like if you're looking at Amari, like, sure, maybe he'll have a couple random usable weeks for you, but are you going to be able to predict that and get him in your ESPN league? No. So I see somebody in the chat asking, like, if they should drop Jaden Higgins for Amari Cooper. No, you do not do that. I'm balding. I'm 23 too, says Mason. Do you still own your Amari Raiders jersey? I do, and I just had a massive fumble where I did not wear it to this live stream. So I started playing Dynasty Fantasy Football specifically in 2014. I was playing regular fantasy football before then. But when I really fell in love with fantasy football and I was playing in like 40 leagues plus, I started in 2014 with Dynasty Fantasy. And that time period, I fell in love with Odell Beckham Jr. as a Giant. I fell in love with Mike Evans as a Buck. I fell in love with Amari in 2015 when he went to the Raiders. So like I have like an Odell Giants jersey, Sammy Watkins Bills jersey that I love. That's another player that I was in love with. And then a Amari Raiders jersey. Okay. Chuba Hubbard off at 54. And we're just going to continue to play catch up at wide receiver. So we'll go ahead and we'll take Calvin Ridley. I definitely prefer Ridley in these flock tournaments on Underdog over Rice, because in the flock tournaments on Underdog, you have to be the highest scoring team in your 12-team draft to make it to the playoffs. So I don't want to be taking players who are going to miss weeks. But apparently we had 100 likes on the stream. So let me go ahead and give away a free trade question and a free start sit question on flockfantasy.com. And again, if you have not done so already, you can join flockfantasy.com. And in these live streams, every single time we hit 100 likes, we are giving away free vouchers. So please spam your chat if you have a flockfantasy.com account and you used promo code FLOCK to make it, because that's how I can go ahead and I can look your name up. Okay, so let's see. We got Bo Nix MVP. Let's see if you followed the instructions, and let's see if you have an account here with code FLOCK. Okay, I got you. It's a free account, so you shouldn't have any trade questions or, God, and these little motion graphics the devs added to the site too are looking good. You shouldn't have any vouchers with your account before this, but now you have a couple free vouchers with your account, and dear God, the site just got a big upgrade. Those motion graphics, I didn't know I needed those in my life. Okay. Now, Travis Hunter off the board at 62. Billy Bob says, do you think Bowers will be better, worse, or the same as last year? I couldn't tell you. I think all three are possibilities. Quarterback plays a little bit worse, and if you have no Jacoby Myers, all of a sudden there's less target competition. So if you're telling me quarterback plays a little better and there's less target competition, seems like he should be a little better. I'm going to take Rome Odunze. Again, when we go 0 wide receivers in the first 2 rounds in underdog drafts, my objective afterwards is wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. Timon says, when do you do the team reviews? The team reviews on flockfantasy.com. I do every single day on the live streams. And previously, we had only been live streaming like 2 hours a day with those live Q&As for flockfantasy.com. But now I think we're probably going to have to start live streaming for about 4 or 5 hours a day to make sure that we get to all your stuff, because we are getting flooded with stuff. Okay. Let's move this over. Chris Olave goes. Okay, there are definite adjustments that the devs need to make with this. At least on the for the stream mode, they need to. Okay, but yeah. So again, with the website, with as big of an upgrade that this just got, like you'll just go and you can play around with a bunch of pages and see everything that's new. Expect that there are going to be some bugs, and please, as you experience them, send them in the site issues section of the Discord. That way the devs can go ahead and make sure that they iron those out. But don't be surprised when we just had this big of an update that like a little graphic looks wrong or something. So Keon Coleman goes 76. I mean, we just have the best team in this draft. Let me just say it. We have the anchor running back with McCaffrey. We have the elite tight end with Bowers, is going straight to the moon. And we have Tyreek, Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, and Rome Odunze. This is a beautiful squad. Jacoby Myers goes 77. I'd imagine Myers would be sliding a bit. I'm not going to take Laporta on a Bowers team. I'm not going to take a Mahomes team unstacked. We can go ahead and we can grab Aaron Jones as our second RB. Let me message the devs on another screen. And I will say, as I message the devs on another screen, if you aren't already a member of the site, I don't know what the hell you're waiting for. Flockfantasy.com, best fantasy football site in the world. The best tools to help you win your fantasy football league. And at the same time, it is the cheapest. $34 one-time payment gets you access to everything on the site, including the My Teams page, the trade calculator, the rankings that are going to be updated every single week for weekly and rest of season, all the draft guides, all the draft sheets, not only from myself, but from so many other creators. And if you use code FLOCK when you sign up to flockfantasy.com, I'm going to be answering your start sit questions and your trade questions in the streams that we are doing every single day. Till says he signed up yesterday. If you signed up yesterday, you should have all the updates that are coming out right now to the site that are improving it. Obviously, you have access to. So if you signed up yesterday, I think you'll be very, very happy. One, hopefully already, but two, especially with the updates that you see this week, because they're starting to roll out right now. Megan says, when's the next Flock League video? The next Flock League video is going to be on Wednesday, I think. Or maybe tomorrow. It's either Tuesday or Wednesday, but coming soon. And the Flock League YouTube channel actually just hit 35,000 subscribers, which is crazy. But yeah, that channel just hit 35,000 subs, and it looks like it's bigger than this channel now in terms of the views it gets, which honestly, the videos are way better, so probably should get more views. Okay, we're going to take Jaden Reed as our 5th receiver. Getting him at pick 90 is kind of a no-brainer. I mean, we were underweight Jaden Reed early because we were taking Matthew Golden instead. But realistically here, Matthew Golden goes, what? Pick 67, we get Jaden Reed at pick 90. This is a fair price point for sure. LOL69 says, what about Amari Cooper? Let me just go ahead and update my rankings on the site with Amari. I'll add him in. And again, I want to reiterate, Amari Cooper probably matters in these underdog best ball drafts, but in your regular ESPN draft, I don't think so. Like, because when are you ever going to know to get him in your starting lineup? I think he's like similar to Alec Pierce, like Wan'Dale Robinson, Joshua Palmer, Adam Thielen. I'd rather have him over McMillan. Like I would probably rather have Jack Bash over Amari Cooper if we're just talking straight ceiling. So I'm going to move Amari to like wide receiver 74. But I don't think Amari's relevant in a regular sleeper, ESPN, Yahoo, NFL Fantasy redraft league. Manuel says, are we shooting for 2 Flock League videos per week? For the Flock League channel, there should be 2 videos a week during the season. Until the season starts, I don't know. There's going to be this video and then maybe 1 more before the season starts. Shahid goes, Kelsey, we're not taking. Kyler Murray, we can grab unstacked. We're going to do just that. Here in the Flock League tournament, stacking is not going to be as important as it will be in some of the other large field underdog contests. So let's go ahead and let's take Kyler and just lock it in. Angel says, can I link 2 sleeper accounts to the website? Yeah, you can link as many teams as you want. Maybe if you like try to link 50 or so, it's going to block you at one point, but you can just go ahead, hit manage and link your team. Okay. You should be able to link like a sleeper team, an ESPN team, a Yahoo team. You can link as many teams as you want. It doesn't matter. Some of the stuff will be limited if you don't have the season pass, but if you have the season pass, you're good to go with like unlimited usage and stuff. Okay. And we have Joe Mixon off here, 109. We got Big Verg out here. Happy to see y'all. Big Verg was at the meetup back-to-back years. Happy to see you, my friend. But Quinshon Judkins goes 112. Let's move this around. I've noticed Evan Ingram falling. I don't know why, but it's happening. No way in hell I'm taking Brian Robinson here. Evan Ingram's been falling. We already have Brock Bowers. I guess we could go Scat. We could go Bateman. We could go Kraft if we want to do that. Instead, let's just take the falling value of Evan Ingram. If you're in your regular ESPN draft, you would never take 2 tight ends here. But underdog, you always need to take 2 tight ends. We'll have Bowers. We'll take Ingram as well. Okay. K-Rob says, do you think Chubb should go ahead of Mixon now? Good question. I don't know. And I guess I need to move Joe Mixon down our rankings even more on the site, right? And maybe move Nick Chubb up my rankings even more. Because that's a very valid question. Like, I'd rather have ETN over Mixon. I'd rather have Jalen Warren. I'd rather have Jordan Mason. I'd rather have J.K. Dobbins. I'd rather have Charbonnet. I'd rather have Javonte. I'd rather have Scadaboo. Actually, everybody spam the chat. Would you rather have Joe Mixon this year or Cam Scadaboo? Like, does Joe Mixon play? Essentially. Joe Mixon or Cam Scadaboo. Like, I have Scadaboo in the Flock League. If Thomas were to send me this trade, what should I say? We got Scat, Mixon, Scat, Mixon, Scat, Mixon, Scat, Mixon. So people are still holding that hope that Mixon will be good to go. But regardless, I think Mixon's around RB like 37, RB 38 at this point. I'd rather Nick Chubb over Brian Robinson. I'd rather Nick Chubb over Rashad White. I'd rather Nick Chubb over Ramondre. I think Nick Chubb's up with like the Braylon Allen, Benson, Austin Eckler range. So I have Nick Chubb RB 43 and I have Joe Mixon RB 38. I'd still rather Mixon over him, but they're closing in on each other. Yeah, obviously 4 weeks is the minimum. The thing is, Mixon may not be back at all. We don't know. Brian Robinson goes 125. McCarthy off the board. We can go Jordan Love, pair him up with Jaden Reed. Since we took the first quarterback unstacked, I think it's probably pretty important that we at least get some of these stacks mixed in. So we'll take Jordan Love here as our second QB. So now running back, we have McCaffrey and Aaron Jones. Tight end, we have Bowers and Evan Ingram. Wide receiver, we have Tyreek, Adams, Ridley, Rome, Jaden Reed. Quarterback, I have an unstacked Kyler. I have Jordan Love paired up with Jaden Reed. So overall, I like the team. We're going to have to draft some more running backs, though. Okay. And Blake says Amari in the 8th round now easily. We'll see where Amari goes in this draft. But, and honestly, I feel good because my early offseason round 18 picks were Amari Cooper and Jalen Tolbert. Jalen Tolbert, that looks like it's absolutely done and dusted, and that's a 0. But Amari back on the table, baby. Those Amari teams may be live. Matt says, you'd think if he's going to miss the whole year, they would have given up the 6 for Brian Robinson, but who knows anything. Yeah, the thing is the Texans may just think Brian Robinson's worse than who they have now. You have no idea what teams like actually view up Brian Robinson. Ferg goes 136. We are obviously not taking a tight end here. We could go Herbert unstacked. We could go Lawrence unstacked. We're actually going to go Justin Herbert. Again, with the flock tournament specifically on Underdog, you are trying to optimize for the most points that you can get in weeks 1 through 14 because only one team is going to advance out of this. So getting the 3 quarterbacks here in the best ball build, I do think is advantageous if we get our first quarterback after pick 100, which is what happens. Avery says, video idea, help a viewer draft a team in their redraft league. I think I've done that before. I did that last year with an ESPN league, which it went very well. The issue that I'm running into, to be honest with you, is when it comes to time in the day. I have about 40 teams I need to review on flockfantasy.com. Every team's going to take at least 5 minutes. So that means immediately I'm backed up about 3.5 hours in a live stream. And then if we're giving away free start set questions and trade questions for every 100 likes we get in a stream, and we give away those free vouchers for anybody who gets a season pass, I'm about to be doing live Q&As for 6 to 7 hours a day. And I still really want to be doing these drafts before the season gets here because I'm not going to be able to draft anymore starting in 2 weeks. So, there are a lot of things that I want to do, but I am running out of time. Desire Best, no, I did not see your trades, but if you send them in the chat right now, I'd be happy to look at it. Connor, yes, this is the first year that we've given out free vouchers like this, which is why, like I've said, like I appreciate y'all so much. Y'all have supported the season pass to an insane degree, and I am extremely proud of like it's like, I know this sounds crappy to say, but it's like the first time that I'm like extremely proud of like the value we are able to provide. Like I'm so proud of the website because I think it genuinely is like super big help for people. And it's being very successful. Like we are making a lot of money off of it. And I feel very good about it too because I think we're providing enough value for y'all. But whenever I say like we may have to raise the price next year, it may just be because like now that I'm doing these Q&As and I box myself into a corner for giving away this many vouchers, it's like we may end up having to like like I've been thinking a long time about this, and we'll see what happens like week 1, week 2, week 3. We'll see what happens this season. Like, and y'all will see too how long the Q&As are. But there's only so much time in the day. So there may be a point like next year where it's like, hey, we either got to raise the price by $10 and have 10% fewer sales, or keep it the same price and not give away the free vouchers. But we may have to find a different solution next year. I think this is probably the first year that, I mean, the last year we'll have it, the first and last year that we'll have it this cheap with the vouchers. But Seth says get Bald Mason to review teams. I'll try, but he is busy grinding. Chris says, how much does the Amari signing impact Besh and Thornton? Amari is much worse than Jacoby is at this point of his career. So today, all in all, it was a very good thing for Thornton and Besh. And we took Trey Harris in the last round to stack up with Justin Herbert. Okay. We're going to get... I'm not freaking taking Najee Harris. We're going to take Nick Chubb. Love how Hassan says you keep raising prices, you're going to lose people. I've only ever lowered prices, my friend. Since the site's launched, price has only ever gone down, and it's only gotten 10,000 times better than what it used to be. This is the first time I've ever said that, hey, we may not have an option but to raise the price next year. But we will see. I'm going to try my absolute best to live stream 7-8 hours a day without missing a day and putting out multiple videos a day. But there's only so much time in the day. And Amari Cooper goes at 163. Let's see if this is the new price tag for Amari. Like, we'll do a bunch of these drafts tonight. We'll see where Amari goes. Okay. Blake says, thank you for the late stream. Perfect with my wife having to work late. Salute, my friend. I know the struggle. I'm sure I've said this 1,000 times. And most people are tired of hearing it, but the lady worked on Happy Gilmore 2 this year, and she wouldn't get home until so freaking late. And we were in California for a bit while she was working on it, and I knew nobody there. So like I'm just sitting there on like a little exercise bike, just watching as many YouTube live streams as I can, waiting, like trying to kill time until she got home. Dan says he got Amari in round 18 an hour ago. So maybe this isn't the Amari price point. Maybe this is just somebody that really wanted to go get their guy. Avery can't link NFL Fantasy right now, but I hope that we can get that added soon. But Gary, welcome to being a mother flocker, my friend. Young Creeless says Woody Marks is more upside than Chubb, 100%. I think in a full PPR format, for sure he does. Woody Marks goes the round after. We're going to go ahead and we will take Jerome Ford. There's a report that came out today. I saw, like, we have a group chat for the Flock League, right? And, of course, we're all just dogging Nathan for the Judkins pick. And Zach sent out a report of Quinshon Judkins could go back and play college football again, which is interesting. Which would be hilarious. Kevin says, this new flockfantasy.com update, straight fire. Just wait. This is first little version of it. It's only getting better, my friend. Like, it's hilarious. If you go back and look at what the website looked like 2 years ago. 2 years ago, I couldn't even put the website in videos. It looked so bad. Will Shipley off 179. Will Shipley has been a big time riser, which I'm not going to fault anybody at all for pushing him up, right? Till Willie says, what do you think the best draft number is this year? I would say the best draft number is probably either 1 or 6. It depends on the amount of teams in your league. If you actually go to the channel, you can see that I did a tier list ranking of the best draft slots. So, kind of depends on the amount of teams in your league and what preference that you have. Keaton Mitchell, 184. Let's smooth this around. We're not taking Garindo. Come on. Y'all really are trying to throw this draft for me, aren't you? We're going to take the big Q at 186. This team is this team's something. I'll tell you that much. Running back. We got CMC holding down the fort. Aaron Jones, Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford. Tight end, we have Brock Bowers, Evan Ingram. Wide receiver, Tyreek Hill, Devontae Adams, Calvin Ridley, Rome Odunze, Jaden Reed, Trey Harris, Quentin Johnston. Quarterback, we have Kyler unstacked, Jordan Love stacked with Reed, and Justin Herbert double stacked with Trey Harris and the big Q. So this is exciting. Peter says, how much longer is the season pass available for? I think we're probably going to have it available until the start of the season. Which, maybe it runs into the season as well. It's just the first time we've ever done anything that's like priced this cheap. So it was like, we're playing it by ear. We're seeing what's happening. It's having a ton of success right now, but we'll see what it's like when we get closer to the season, and we'll see how sustainable it is for us to be, because the other creators too are having to do the live Q&As, right? So, I mean, we all kind of have to talk about it, go like, hey, can we keep this up? Okay, DJ Giddens goes 196. Connor, welcome to being a YouTube member. Hopkins 197. Okay, somebody's saying that we hit 200 likes, so we need to do a 200 like giveaway, which we'll do that right after this. I think we're solid, honestly, at receiver. I kind of want to take a running back. I think we are going to just reach on Kareem Hunt. To reach on Kareem Hunt as our 5th running back. So we hit 200 likes. So if you have an account on flockfantasy.com and use promo code FLOCK, I can find you on my Flock users page. So spam the chat, your username on the account, and we will get you hooked up with a start sit question or a trade question. I'm sorry, and a trade question. If we get really down bad, backed up on questions, then maybe these giveaways turn into only one. But for the time being, we'll do both. But let's pick somebody at random. We got Robo Cop or something along those lines. Let me look at Flock users. Robo Cop. Bam. Found you. Okay. So we got you hooked up with a free trade question and a free start sit question. And you joined the site back in 2023, so you can attest to how much better it's gotten. Let's see. And let's move this over. I honestly kind of want to take another running back. And I know what running back we want. We're going to take another old crusty running back that nobody likes. Justice Hill. Don't roster him in your ESPN league, in your Yahoo league, in your sleeper league, in your NFL fantasy league. You would never know when he's going to actually go off. You would never know when he's going to be relevant. But he will have a couple random usable weeks based off what he can do as a receiver. So in a regular redraft league, he doesn't have the upside to turn into an every week starter. You probably shouldn't take him. But in your best ball underdog drafts, that's where he's exciting. Let's move this over. We just got into another BBM draft on the phone. So let's pull this up on the screen. And sorry, Safari is blocking my location, so I'm not trying to juke y'all out, so I'm not going to do that again. So we are in the BBM, and we get pick numero uno. I feel like this is the first time we've had pick 1 in quite some time. So I think we're going to go ahead and we'll probably take Brock Bowers at 1 with the, obviously I'm joking. We'll take Chase. We'll see what happens on the way back, and we will see where Bowers and the other Raiders options go in this draft. Okay. Tristan says, Mason, I missed the beginning of the stream. Do you think Myers really leaves, or is he just trying to get the extension? I think he's leaving. Main thing is, 1, the Raiders aren't playing for anything. 2, it's kind of a completely different Raiders team than it used to be. And 3, they just go ahead and they sign Amari Cooper. Okay. Jeff says, hey, Mason, shot this question over. Not sure if you caught it at a bounce. Were you able to update the sheets on Friday? Saw Henderson behind Brees in a few. Yes, we updated the sheets on Friday. Maybe he was behind Brees in a few in the power rankings if he was still extremely low in the ADP, where we were like, okay, maybe you go Brees round 4 if you think you can get Henderson round 5 in that specific platform. But if you look at my rankings specifically, you should see Henderson ahead of Brees. Okay. And we take Chase here at 1. Obviously, pretty easy pick. Not much to discuss. And you know what I'm going to do on the website right now? Just before I forget. Actually, no, I'm not going to do that. Debating turning off roster reviews. I may. Let's try to see how many I can get to tomorrow. Maybe we end up having to turn them off for a bit. But no big surprise in this draft so far. And just in case you haven't seen the structure of a BBM draft, this is the largest tournament on Underdog. $25 buy-in, $15 million prize pool, $2 million to first, $1 million to second. And check out all the prizes here. The highest I've ever finished in this tournament, 16th place, which this year that would be good for $70,000. How you get those crazy prizes is you got to be a top 2 team in your 12-team draft in regular season points weeks 1 through 14. And then week 15, you go up against 12 people. If you beat them, week 16, you go up against 16 people. If you beat them, week 17, you go up against about 500 people. And if you beat them, you turn $25 into $2 million. And it's extremely difficult to get to the finals. I've maxed out Best Ball Mania. I think this will be my 3rd year straight. And I've only ever gotten to the finals in Best. Actually, this may be my 4th year straight. When I lived in the apartment, my 1st year here. This is my 2nd or 3rd year in the house. It's either my 3rd or 4th year. Regardless, it's extremely hard. I've only made it to 2 BBM finals before. And the highest I've ever finished in this tournament is 16th place. Now, I've won other tournaments on Underdog. But this one obviously is very tough just because it's the biggest. Okay. Roble says, don't burn yourself out with the start set questions. We need you tip-top shape for the Flock League this year. Hey, my team's looking good for the Flock League this year. We looking nice and pretty. And also, let me know if y'all don't have your team linked yet. Does it show the Flock League for y'all? Like on your My Teams page? Son says, yeah, bro, you look like a zombie last year. I'll be a zombie again this year. I'm going to be more of a zombie this year than I was last. This year, the grind is really exciting. Just says, what's the house rake on these drafts? As in, how much of the percentage? So Underdog is very clear and transparent about the rake. In any tournament, you can just hit that information and it's right there in the front. So the rake in the Basketball Mania tournament is 10.8%. So Underdog takes 10.8% of the pots for themselves. AJ Brown goes 22. If I would have got AJ Brown and Jamar Chase on the same team, I'd have been super excited. Just while it says, oh yeah, that's not bad. Yeah, the rake's super low in Underdog drafts. Jacobs goes, I'm going to be taking Trey McBride. And I almost want to get unique with it. We're going to do that. We're going to get unique. We're going to go Trey McBride and Kyron Williams here at the turn. This will be a 3-player combo that's pretty rare. At no point was Kyron or McBride going at pick 48, 49 this offseason in this tournament. So I don't think we should be worried about too many people having this 3-player combo. And at the same time, I think we have plenty of upside with this 3-player combo. So we're reaching to get unique, but at the same time, I don't think we are sacrificing upside. Chaos Gaming says, do you have non-PPR rankings? I don't see them, or is it locked behind a paywall? It's locked behind a paywall. If you go to the posts tab on flockfantasy.com and you go to the 2025 Flock draft sheets, you can find non-PPR rankings for a bunch of different leagues there. Blake says, best midnight stack. Okay. I eat so unhealthy. And I am a legitimate little piggy. All right. I have the worst diet ever. One thing I am pretty good about, though, is not eating like junk super late. Now, if you eat like an earliest dinner, like today I ate like at 6, so I knew I was going to get hungry tonight. Here's my one little tip. Get yourself a little protein shake. This thing, 160 calories, 30 grams of protein. Make it where I don't get hungry in this stream. So I eat like a little piggy 99% of the time. But midnight snack, I'm pretty good about not going too bad there. But apparently we had 300 likes, so please spam your Flock Fantasy username in the chat, and we will go ahead and we will get you hooked up with a free start set and free trade voucher. Okay, Trevian Henderson goes 34. Mike Evans goes 35. I'm surprised Evans hasn't gone up more in these drafts. Let's go ahead. Let's pick somebody random here. We got one. Okay, we got Lucas Lowe, but username has a 1 in it instead of a. Okay, 1. Let me refresh this because these users ain't loading. All right, we got you now. Lucas. One. Ukas. Okay, my friend. You're not loading. I don't know if you use code FLOCK on the site, so we got to move on. We got Mackinac. And the dog is trying to get in here. 1 second. Terry McLaurin goes 43. Obviously, McLaurin signs today. I don't think you should expect too big of a price tag rise. Come on, you come in here. I know, girlie. Good. I know. You're a good girl. You're a good girl. Okay. See if I can find Mackinac. If not, we're going to go to plan C. Mackinac. Okay. We're moving to plan C. Let's see. Lucky Luke. Okay, finally found someone. Free account. Lucky Luke. We'll get you hooked up with a couple free start set questions and trade questions. Okay. And again, for me to find you on my users page, you have had to use code FLOCK when you sign up to flockfantasy.com. Jamison Williams off the board. We want to go back-to-back wide receiver here. We want to keep it stupid simple. So we'll take DJ Moore and Cortland Sutton. And this is like a really nice structured underdog team. I really like this. Alex says, so the Superflex rankings update, I saw it was last August 8th. Nope. The Superflex updates on the newest draft sheets, which should be sheets 49 and 50. Those were updated Friday. So, like the 22nd. Skylar says, there's no way just taking top of ADP is the play. Well, if you didn't see what we did, literally the 2 prior picks is we reached on 2 players. So this was, I guess we took Jamar Chase top of ADP. You caught me. Ooh. But our first time in this draft taking players at the top of ADP, we reached on both McBride and Kyron Williams. So Rashee Rice goes 55. And there's no way to change a code on the site. It's like reaching out to Underdog and going like, hey, can I change from code this to code FLOCK? I want to get the draft sheets. Underdog's going to tell you no. John says ESPN would give me a C grade after getting London in the 3rd. Do you link your ESPN league with the site? And if so, let me know where you're at in the power rankings. Because if you got London in the 3rd, I'd imagine there's a damn good shot that you are at the top of the power rankings. Mainly because if your league mates let you get London in the third, I'd imagine your league mates don't really know what's going on. Okay, Deebo Samuel flies all the way up to 61. So, I mean, I guess that is the Jaden Daniels team, but here's my thing. If you're going to take Daniels at 37 and you're going to reach on a stack, I'd rather reach on Terry McLaurin there at the turn rather than reach on Deebo Samuel. Ziri says, I'm first in the power ranking using your cheat sheet. By the way, love to hear it, my friend. Love to hear it. Zach, if you're signing up for the season pass, what the different promo codes will essentially do for you is the different promo codes will be the different people who answer your questions. So, like, if you use code FSE, they'll be used. Danny and Bush will be answering your question. If you use code FLOCK, I'm going to be the one answering your question. Mackinac coming out here after screaming at me, saying that he did use code FLOCK. Says, RIP, I realized I didn't. I know. Okay. Let's see what happens here, but I think we are going to get something a little exciting. What are you doing? Jordan Addison goes, so we are going to be getting Joe Burrow to pair up with Jamar Chase. Please and thank you. And we will take another receiver here with Judy before the absolute bottom falls out of the position. So this is a beautiful, beautiful start. Thinking about it, this is Mason. Are you still taking Brian Robinson under that man Bill? Draft sheets have Brian Robinson. Nope. If you look at the rankings on the site, we have adjusted and we moved Bill up dramatically, Brian Robinson down dramatically. The draft sheets were last updated on what's it called? Friday. Okay. But let's see. Like right now I have Ja'Cory Cross-Merritt up there at RB 29. And Brian Robinson is like next to Tyler Algier. Joe says people outside of the USA can join these tournaments. No, these Underdog tournaments, I know you're from Brazil. You can't join from Brazil. The only place Underdog is available is in the United States and in Canada outside of Ontario. So Tracy goes at 83. I love our team. I mean, obviously, we're kind of falling behind at running back, only having Kyron Williams. But if we're able to get some running backs soon, I think we're going to be in a really good spot. Okay, Charbonnet goes 86. Pretty early for Charb, right? We don't typically see him there. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like we normally don't see him at that cost. Okay, Jalen Wharton goes 87. Chris Peacock. We've actually looked at Chris's questions on the site a decent amount of times. Happy that he was able to get in a draft with us too. Thank you, Chris. Happy to draft against you. Okay, Caleb Johnson goes 90. I would have scooped Caleb Johnson up in a heartbeat at 96. This is where Caleb Johnson becomes like a really strong value. Okay, Keon Coleman, 92. I would have taken Pittman if you had made it to us. Jaden Higgins goes 94. Okay. So Baker Mayfield, we don't have any of the stacks for. I guess we could go Godwin. Like the running backs, it's like J.K. Dobbins and that's it. Joe Mixon's not draftable here anymore. So F it. We're going to go with Godwin and Baker. If we are trying to optimize for points in weeks 15, 16, 17, while of course Godwin's missing the beginning of the season, this is a tournament. I'm trying to turn $25 into $2 million. I need a crazy high ceiling in those final 3 weeks. Taking Chris Godwin will make it a little less likely that I am able to make it to the fantasy football playoff tournaments, but it will make it more likely that if I'm there, I have a real shot to make some noise. Okay. So Justin Fields goes immediately after. Now that we have Burrow and Baker, we're done taking quarterbacks. So we're hoping that we see some quarterbacks go off the board. That would for sure be the ideal for us. Evan Ingram goes 104. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt off 105. Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt's such a good pick in these drafts because he wasn't selected in every one. It's like a large section of underdog drafts that he wasn't drafted in. Okay. And, oh my dear God, there are 2,000 people watching this? That's insane. Thank you so much for everybody joining us. Darnell Mooney, 108. And again, I want to reiterate for anybody that's new here. These are underdog best ball drafts. Do not copy and paste this to your ESPN league. There will be some adjustments. In your ESPN league, if you took Joe Burrow there at 72, you would not follow it up with Baker Mayfield at 97. But again, I can't just do like regular fantasy football drafts every single night because then I would have to submit 1,000 starting lineups during the season. And with my in-season workflow, that's it's just not really possible for me to be able to submit 1,000 starting lineups and work 1,000 waiver wires and trades for all these leagues. Like I already spent too much time just with the flock league. So that's why these best ball drafts are perfect. It's not replacing any main league. It's just some extra fun on the side. And you know what I actually got word from Underdog with? That's super cool. I've been asking them because I've seen in the app and we are big enough on YouTube. I was like, whoa, can we do this? And they told me yes. And I asked if we could get free picks with it. I probably should not be saying this in the live stream right now before anything's locked in. But have y'all seen like on the Underdog app when you have like the pick'em packs where it's like they're like video game streamers like Tim the Tap Man or whatever. Tim the Tap Man Pick'em Tap. And it's like pick'ems that he has for an individual NFL game. I asked them, I was like, hey, can we do like boosted flock pick'ems? Or like where you can throw like a free pick in a pick'em and we can do like a flock pick'em where we all watch like a game and root for a specific player. Seeing these quarterbacks fall is not good for us since we can't take another quarterback. But Mass's MMG has them as well. Yeah, so I asked them if we could do it, and they said yes. And I asked them if they haven't said yeah. They said that they would do them boosted for us, which is obviously nice because, I mean, I want a higher payout than normal if we're doing it. We're going to take Ramadre and Tucker Kraft, and we're done at tight end as well. That was kind of, we got sniped. I mean, if we would have been able to get Travis Etienne there, that would have been an absolute dream. But, so I asked them, and they said yes, and they'll do them boosted. I know that for sure. But also they said that, well, what I followed up, they haven't said anything yet. And that's why I maybe shouldn't be saying this out loud. I asked, I was like, maybe instead of doing them boosted, could we just get like a free pick on them? So like for the Thursday night game, as an example, like I looked at some of the picks that I like. I was like, oh, I kind of like George Pickens for fewer than 4.5 receptions. I like Saquon Barkley higher than half a touchdown. Can we also get like Dak Prescott higher or lower? I mean, higher than 0.5 passing yards in it. So it's like a free pick that like boosts the overall payout. I emailed them that today, fingers crossed. But if we can get that, that would be awesome. That'd be really cool. especially because they're doing that promo where it's like you play $5, you get $50 added into your account right now. That would just be insane. Cause like we could have like 1,000 of us all sweating on the game. And then right after, cause y'all know I do the streams right after the games, we could all get together and hopefully it won't be a disaster. Hopefully I don't just pick absolute garbage picks, which is why I'm asking them like, hey, can we get some free picks added in? And obviously that's the same place where we do all these best ball drafts. I mean, I've been on Underdog for like 5 years now. I absolutely love Underdog. And if you wanted to get in with us, whether it was for some best ball drafts during the year or for some of those pick and packs that we're going to do, you can always find the link in the description comment section live chat. And again, if you use code FLOCK, you're also going to be getting all our 2025 draft sheet rankings list that are going to be updated every Friday till the season starts. And on top of that, when you play $5, you get a free $50 added in your account, which is absolutely insane. Just make sure you use code FLOCK if you want to get those things. Bone says, what's this $5 for $50 thing? It's not when you deposit $5, you have to play $5. So like, say you deposit $10 on Underdog, and then you do like a $5 puppy tournament, which is like one of the fantasy football tournaments they have right now. Then you'll get $50 of Underdog credit added into your account, which obviously you can do that. Like you can use that for picks, hop into drafts with it, whatever it is. Okay. Okay. People are saying the website. I mean, let me know if the website crashed. I see one person saying that it did. Josh Block says, Jimmy, it's working for him. So, Swears World, long time member of the Flock, says, I hope I win one of the Flock community contests. Y'all crushed me in the Flock tournaments on Underdog last year. Okay, people are saying flockfantasy.com is working. Turk Photographer says, is the $5 play for 50 promo for everyone or only new accounts? It's only new accounts. I'm sorry. Like, obviously, Underdog's had different promos through the years. Like, 4 years ago when we first were with them, I think the promo was a 100% deposit bonus. The promo, we can only take running back and wide receiver. We can't take quarterback or tight end. We're going to keep it stupid simple. I'm going to take Quinshon Judkins and Dylan Sampson and monopolize the backfield touches in Cleveland. But like when we first started with them, it was like up to $100. You could, whatever you deposited was doubled. Then for like the past year or two, it was like a 50% deposit bonus up to 1,000. And right now it's, in my opinion, probably the best one where it's the play $5, get $50 added in your account. Jeff says, how can you take a look at my team on Flock? If you submit a roster review, I can look at it for you. Nathan says, thoughts on CMC B-Rob handcuff? I think B-Rob's not usable in any game that McCaffrey plays, but if McCaffrey were to go down, I think B-Rob should have a comparable ceiling to maybe what you saw with like Jordan Mason last year. Okay. Bones Fantasy asking if we think Myers is going to be able to go for 850 plus receiving yards this season. Probably not. I mean, he has easily over the past 2 years. My thing with Jacoby Myers is you can view the trade as a couple different ways. You can say, oh, okay, well, maybe he goes to a better offense. You can't really find a worse offense than the Raiders. But at the same time with that, it's so close to the season. And it's not like he's an elite talent. Whatever team he gets traded to, he's not going to be the wide receiver one on it. Your boy says, I upgraded to Mother Flocker, but it says I still need to pay for a team review. The devs would be super happy to help you out with that ASAP. Just please send a message in the site issues section of the Discord, and they will take a look at that for you. And just in case y'all don't know, again, like, I'm sure that there will be a few bugs y'all notice with the massive update with the site over the next few days. So if you ever see anything, please just send it in the Discord chat in the site issues section so the developers on the site can take a look at it for you. But I just sent that link to the Discord in the chat if you're not already in it. Okay. And good for us to see like Bryce Young, Hunter Henry, Brenton Strange off the board. We need these tight ends and quarterbacks to keep getting drafted. Like if I was sitting with Bryce Young staring us in the face at 168, I would have felt so bad about our decisions to take the quarterbacks where we did earlier. I mean, Jacoby going to the Bills, they just paid Shakir. I think New England's a more likely outcome. So I don't know. I mean, we'll see. But regardless, he's going to the team the week before the season starts. How effective do we think he's really going to be able to be? A San Francisco would make a ton of sense. Issue is, would they trade him in division? Actually, it's not in division. I'm being an idiot. Never mind. Yeah, technically West Coast, but different West Coast. Different conference. So, yeah, San Francisco would be great. LK Manor, Geno Smith. We're going to go running back here at the turn. We're going to take Tajee Spears and Rashad White, and we're going to call it a day. God dang, I like our team. And we're going to be able to just go through and take 3 more wide receivers. It's one of my favorite underdog teams that we've drafted this year, and I think at the same time, it's very unique. I love this squad. Vigo says 400 likes. Okay, so if you have a Flock Fantasy account and you use promo code FLOCK when you set it up, drop your username and we'll pick one of y'all to give some free vouchers to. Okay. So at this point, we want wide receivers making a back. So running back, we have Kyron, Ramadre, Judkins, Sampson, Spears, and Rashad White. I think we're going to get some random usable weeks out of like Spears and White. One of the Browns running backs could be there. And then obviously we just kind of need Ramadre to do something at the beginning of the year to cover. Okay, let's see if we can find this user, P. Garaz. Okay. Let me go ahead and try to find this for you, my friend. Stafford goes 176. Let's go users, P. Garaz. All right, I got you. Free account, so you shouldn't have any vouchers yet, but we are going to get you set up right this second. Ooh, not a team review. That would be no bueno. We'll get you hooked up with a trade question and a start set, though. Let's move this down. So Rico Dowdle goes 179. Thank God. Get these running backs off. Thielen goes 180. Do y'all think Thielen's going to be a Viking? How likely do you think that trade is to actually happen? Okay, Isaac Tesla goes 181. Joey says, Gibbs with the 3 overall and came back with Brian Thomas Jr. Did I get... yeah, you are the luckiest person I've ever seen. I don't think I've seen a... Unless you play in like an 8-team draft. If you play in an 8-team draft, it's not that crazy. But if it's an underdog draft, congrats on winning $2 million. If it's a regular fantasy league, like 12-teamer, congrats on your league mates being idiots. So Jerome Ford goes 166. One Pack Magic says Vikings eyeing Jacoby Myers. Oh, that. There's just no way. You have Jefferson, Hawkinson, and Addison. Myers would be crazy. Juwan Johnson, 189. And then imagine the panic on the Justin Jefferson injury if they traded for Myers. People would lose their minds. Okay. Eeny, meeny, miny, Q. That's probably what we're doing. Yeah, eeny, meeny, miny, Q. We'll take the big Q, and we'll take Jalen Coker if y'all do think that we are going to end up getting an Adam Thielen trade. I've definitely drafted a lot more Xavier Legette than I have Jalen Coker, so to be honest with you, this year I'm rooting for Legette. But I've been wrong before. I'll be wrong again, so let's just balance it out. I love our team. Gosh. And I think we're just going to queue up another receiver, right? Because we don't need another quarterback when we have Burrow Baker. We don't need a running back when we have Kyron, Ramondre, Judkins, Sampson, Spears, White. Don't need another tight end with McBride, Kraft. Wide receiver, we have Chase, DJ Moore, Sutton, Judy, Godwin, the big Q, and Coker. Large field contest. We want some of these bike weeks that we can get access to. I don't know if we're going to get them, but let's see. We're going to queue up, and y'all are probably going to snipe me on them. But actually, we'll stay in this draft. I'll show y'all who we get. But let me enter in another draft on my phone real quick. And we'll pull this over. Okay. And you know what? I'm going to, God, I wish I I'm just going to have to buckle up and start doing those live Q&As for 5 hours a day. It's like, I already know that I'm falling behind on those team reviews. And I almost want to say oh, okay, at the end of the stream, we're going to get into another, oh, I love the Jalen Milroe picture. I don't know if I've seen the Milroe picture. That's like the best headshot on Underdog. But yeah, we can't do team reviews in a draft stream. It's just going to mess with things. I don't want people clicking on a draft and seeing a team review. Okay. But Yoshi Vosh goes 203. And we will pull this over. Queue up some more wide receivers, and we're going to bounce to our next draft too. Queue up. Who else would we want? All these guys are just bums. I guess Trey Tucker with the news. Malik, Noel. Jalen Royals, Josh Reynolds. Okay, we're going to get one of those receivers. Let me pull up our new draft. Okay. So we are, I believe, pick 10. No, we're pick 9. So maybe another Bowers team. We'll see. The next Flock League video is going to be coming out tomorrow or Wednesday. I can't tell you when, though. Okay. CeeDee Lamb goes at 4. McCaffrey goes 6. So the team at 7 is going to get Barkley here. God dang. Of course, that can't be me. Of course. Okay. We will take Puka Nacua. I like Puka here, maybe just slightly more than Neighbors, with Stafford looking like he's good to go week 1. But I would not. P-Dunk says Breece Hall fell to him at 60 today. God dang. That is wild. Okay. Genty goes 11. Chase Brown 12. John Rock says, "How's your day, Mr. Dodd?" It was great. Only thing that was annoying today is my power going out, so we had like the 3 hours that we couldn't stream. I kind of set us behind on the team review stuff. Somebody says he still want to take Brees at 60. Drake London goes, I'm going to... Yeah, we'll take Derek. Honestly, F it. Let's have some fun here. Let us have some fun. Let's go Bowers. You want to take Henry? I'm not going to fault you for it. We'll give the team right after us a gift. And that team at 7 is going to be living the dream where they're going to get Barkley and they go Taylor instead. They have the opportunity to go Barkley and Achane. But the team at 6 gets Achane instead. Yeah, I was really expecting maybe to see a unique Barkley Achane combo. Okay. T. Higgins goes 22. We passed on T. Higgins at 24, 25 in the last draft. Bucky off the board at 23. It seems like Bucky doesn't make it that far down these boards anymore. Jacobs goes 26. So we have those two teams at the turn, both going with pretty unique starts. The team at 1, 3 wide receivers out the gate, and the team at 2, 3 running backs out the gate. That will be interesting to monitor how that plays out over the next few rounds. JSN goes 30. Lamar 31. Jack says, Mason, would you last longer in a with Sidney Sweeney or in a cage with a grizzly bear? Let's be real here. I wouldn't last 1 second with Sidney Sweeney. The grizzly bear would at least take a little bit of time for it to get to me. We're going to take Kyron Williams as our first running back here at 33. We took him at 25 in the last draft after the contract extension. It's just looking really nice for him to see the same snaps. So, I mean, same snap rate that he had last year, pretty close to it. And I'm being like dead serious about that. I know myself. I would last longer with the grizzly bear. And I genuinely mean that. Okay. Ted McMillan goes 35. I would like a wide receiver on the way back at 40 when we only have Puka through the first 3 rounds. Which if you were in like a regular ESPN, Yahoo, NFL Fantasy sleeper draft, I mean, you don't have to stress too much. But here specifically in these underdog drafts, you definitely got to make sure that you get your wide receivers. Okay. I love how my watch is telling me like, hey, it's about time to wind down for bed. So, oh, I'm just getting started, buddy. I'm just getting started. Garrett Wilson goes 38. If y'all remember, like Travis Hunter used to go back-to-back with Tat. We're not going to take George Kittle when we have Bowers. Honestly, I'm not going to take Pickens here either. Metcalf goes. James Cook's the play. Okay, what can we get on the way back? Pick 57. We can go with the receiver. We can go with the wide receiver at 64 as well. So we're going to get a little weird here. We're going to go James Cook. And we're going to send up a prayer that Puka Nacua is this year's Jamar Chase. Raphael, I'm not answering that question. There's no way I can answer that. Mux says, how do you prepare for long runs? Um, Today I had a good run. Today I got out there for 11. But I am not the best when it comes to like stretching and stuff like that. So, like here's my go-to breakfast in the morning at this point. I make my own little pre-workout, a little bit of creatine, a little bit of citrulline, a little bit of beta alanine, a little bit of, I have a liquid IV pack with caffeine in it. I would not recommend liquid IV to people unless you can get it for sale at Costco. If not, it's just overpriced. But it's just my little habit and I'm addicted. Get 100 milligrams of caffeine, get my little pre-workout going. Have a little fig bar. They're like little, I would recommend these. They're like Nature's, blah, 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 fig bars from Costco. They're just like 200 calories, essentially just 50 grams of carbs. They're just sugar. Eat that. Go do my little run. Have immediately after another fig bar, little protein shake. Like 500 calories, 30 grams of protein, 50 grams of carbs. We're good to go. Okay, Travis Hunter goes 54. I mean, we have to go wide receiver here at the turn. Trevion Henderson falls far in this draft. Okay, Zay Flowers goes. We'll take Rasheed and we'll take whatever wide receiver makes it back to us. Rasheed, please play in the final 3 weeks. You can miss 6 weeks in the middle of the year. That's going to be fine for me. Just play in the final 3. Just win me a cool $2 million. I know you have the upside in you. Hassan says, God bless SoCal weather. I have 5 fruit trees. That was what I was most impressed by whenever we stayed in California for a bit for the lady to work on that movie. We would walk around the neighborhood and every freaking house in the neighborhood had trees growing in its yard. I was like, what the? Like the weather in SoCal was in the nature, it was the nicest landscaping I had ever seen. We're going to take Olave here as our third receiver. I don't like this team's not nearly as good as our last draft. This team, we have the elite tight end with Bowers holding us down. We have Kyron and James Cook at running back. We have Puka, Rice, and Olave at receiver. Now, if Rice somehow weasels himself into a not a bad suspension, maybe the Chiefs just can do some of their voodoo magic. We won't be in that bad of a spot, but if Rice gets hit with a hard suspension, our $25 is maybe just gone. It's lit on fire. Okay. Mug says, how do you deal with nipple chafing while running? I've never had nipple chafing while running. Actually, maybe I didn't have it in the 100 miler. 99% of the time I run without a shirt. But I've never had it. Okay, so here, but what I do get is I get armpit chafing and thigh chafing. And I did the 100-mile ultra marathon and had zero chafing when I got this. I used to use like the speed stick or something like that, anti-chafe. Sports stick, I think it was called, but this is so much better. Let me see. It's like nut butter. Oh, this is what it was. It's expensive, but I was so impressed by this. It was unbelievable. It was this. I put this on like my entire body for the 100-mile ultra marathon. I didn't chafe once, and maybe at like mile 80, I had to reapply it in a couple different spots once. And it was perfect. So if you're going to do like a super long run and you experience chafing, order this. Like I never shill for products, but that is something I will shill for. Yeah, it's called Squirrel's Nut Butter Anti-Chafe Stick. All natural chafe prevention. I've used the other like Sport Stick, and which I think is like the main popular one. And this one honestly was way better. It was amazing. Okay, Jacoby Myers goes 76. I probably was not going to take Jacoby Myers. Maybe I would have. Because we need a receiver. That's for damn sure. Let's pull this down. I mean, dear God, what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? This team goes Aaron Jones. I'm going to take... God. We'll take Mahomes and we'll stack him up with Rice. He's not going to make it back to us. That's the thing. We can look at the team after us at the turn. That team at 84-85 has Xavier Worthy. They would have to pass on Patrick Mahomes twice. I don't think there's any player that stands out where it's like, oh, okay, this is the clear option for us at this point. So we'll take Mahomes at 81 and hope some of the other players that we would have considered would have made it back. And yeah, that team goes with Baker instead for the Igbuka stack. This is a super interesting question because my answer is way different than what I thought it would be. So Luke says, what site's ADP do you think is best this year? So the site that the ADP is best on, we're going to take Shakir, is actually what I thought it would be worse. Like if you would have said, Mason, what site do you think like ADP wise, obviously Underdog ADP in terms of positionally is going to be better than anything else because most money's drafted on Underdog. But if you're in then like FFPC, like the other high stakes platforms, like those ADPs are naturally going to be better, which is why if you're using our draft sheets, we actually account for those ADPs in the composite ADP column. But if you're looking at like just the crappy redraft platforms, and crappy is maybe the poor choice of words, but where it's like more like casual fantasy football leagues, right? Like high school buddies get together, college buddies get together, not like randos on the internet drafting for thousands of dollars. Out of like the 3 ESPN Yahoo sleeper platforms that we made the draft guides for, I would say that ESPN honestly probably had the best ADP. Which what I was surprised to see is the worst ADP, at least in my opinion, was what is perceived to be like the industry disruptor, perceived to be like the best app. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying that's like the perception. It's like the perception is like serious players play on Sleeper and like casual players play on ESPN. But I mean, don't get me wrong. I know Elijah says, except they have Ricky Pearsall 101. All the platforms have garbage ADP. But if I had to, other than like Underdog and FFPC, again, those high stakes platforms, but like if you're looking at those regular redraft leagues, if I had to pick like the best, I would say probably ESPN, then Yahoo, then Sleeper. Okay. Pull this up. Let's see. I think we have flexibility once we go Shakir. We're going to take Kelsey. Kelsey falls over 10 picks, and at the same time, we have Mahomes. We'll pair him up with Bowers when we're done at tight end. You'd never do that in your regular redraft league, but in best ball, there are some advantages to it. Okay, let's see what makes it back. Travis Etienne fell a ton in the last draft. Can y'all let me know, has there been any buzz coming out of Jacksonville with the running backs, like over the past few days? Dak Prescott, we don't have any stacks for. Fields, we can get unstacked if we really want. We can go ETN as our third running back. Hopefully there's not something coming out of Jacksonville that I've been missing. But like the other running backs that are here are like Brian Robinson and Scat. So let's just take Travis Etienne. Nick says, no, it's still, we don't know who's starting between Tank or ETN. Yeah, but I mean, that's been the case for a long time now, right? But I have noticed, like, in the last draft, ETN almost made it to us, like, pick 120. So I didn't know if there was anything that came out in, like, the last 48 hours that is new. Okay. Kyle Pitts goes 114. I would love for Tank to get traded to Chicago. I would love for Tank to get traded to Dallas. Just okay. Keenan goes 118. MVP says, never mind. I think my VPN was messing with the site for me. Yeah, I don't know if you're talking about flockfantasy.com or Underdog, but Underdog's not going to be friendly with VPNs, I'm pretty sure, because they have to verify your location. They have to make sure you're in one of these states because they are like fully regulated from everything. Scat goes 121. Fields fell a decent ways in this draft. Raphael, good luck in the home league, my guy. Wishing you the best of luck here. Brady says, am I crazy or why is Judkins not gone yet? I think we took Judkins at pick 144 in the last draft. Yeah, I mean, there were rumors about Judkins going back to college. Javonte 127. We cannot take a tight ends. Ramondre goes. We'll take Ayuk as our wide receiver 5. We're not going to get points until the second half of the year, but again, we are going forward with the thought process that we're okay having a lower advance rate as long as we have the potential to win a tournament in the final 3 weeks. Let's see. Tyrone says, Mason, how many redraft leagues are you in this year? I'm in one, and that's the Flock League. I am going to be live streaming and making videos. I'm going to be working a lot this year where it's very difficult for me to be managing start sit and waiver wires. So for me to join a bunch of fantasy leagues is very tough. So we focus in on our one main one I care the most about, which is the Flock League. And then I do a bunch of best ball drafts. Because then with these teams, I don't have to commit any additional time during the season. With my schedule, that is perfect for me. Because again, like those live Q&As in the past, what I've done is I've woken up and I've started streaming at like 7 a.m. CST. So like 5 hours before kickoff on Sunday morning, answering all your start sit questions. And this year I may end up having to do those, like, may have to do like 6 hour streams Sunday morning. So it's like very difficult for me Sunday morning if I had like 30 teams I had to manage, it's almost impossible for me. So we have the Flock League, that one main redraft league, and then hundreds of best ball drafts. Now, Sheila says, I just did my main draft, and I'm leagues ahead of others on the Flock ratings. Loving the draft sheets. Love to hear it, my friend. I think you'll be in a good spot. Pat Farm says, all BBMs are technically redraft, though. That is true. So technically, I'm in 400 plus redraft leagues. Only one that I got to manage during the season, though. Okay. Sarl says, Mason, would it be possible to get the sleeper ID for the Flock League? I think the Flock League maybe should be loaded under your My Teams page now. Go to the My Teams page on flockfantasy.com and see if the Flock League's there for you. Sheriff says, I just finished my draft, and according to your rankings, I'm number one overall. Love to hear it. I think genuinely, if you just have a good draft sheet, you're probably going to end up having the best draft. As long as, because from what I've seen, it seems like a lot of y'all's league mates don't really know what they're doing. Okay, so Michael Penix goes 151. Bryce Young off the board. We will take Hollywood Brown and get the full-blown Kansas City Chiefs onslaught with Mahomes, Hollywood, Rice, and Kelsey. I used to think that this was not ideal. I used to think that this capped your ceiling in the final 3 weeks. And then the team that won millions of dollars on Underdog last year in Best Ball Mania, all they did was draft every single Cincinnati Bengal, and it won them millions. So we'll go ahead and we will try to replicate the same thing here with the Chiefs. Okay, Eric says, quick tips for a double tight end league. Move up tight ends on your board dramatically. Bowers is a round one pick in that format easily. Okay. Thank God. Get the tight ends off of here, please. Looking at the quarterbacks, I guess we could go Geno to pair up with Bowers. Thornton goes 158. Tesla off the board. So I do like the Judkins price at this point, but just structurally, we kind of have to take our second quarterback here to pair up with Brock. So we'll take Geno Smith. And let's see. David says, number 2 of my league's power rankings in the spreadsheets helped a lot. Thanks for the help, Hookem. I love your profile picture. That profile pic of LeBron with the flip phone recording is amazing. Okay. With this, Beto says, did you play any sports growing up? Yes. I had brain surgery when I was not baby, but when I was like 1, and I had a shunt. I don't know if you know what that is. You can kind of see the scar here. It's definitely a lot more noticeable when my hair is shorter. Like the scar runs from here to like here, like the top of my head right here. And so I wasn't able to play contact sports, which in reality, if I would have played football, I would have got smoked anyway. Skinny little twig. So growing up, I played a lot of baseball, basketball, and then in middle school, I started playing tennis as well. And then in high school, I quit baseball and basketball and just played tennis. And then when I went to UT, I joined the powerlifting team. And then now I've done and I'm doing like ultra marathons and Ironman races, if that counts. Eric says, I got on the Flock Live for the first time in 3 years. I've watched. So hype. You're saying, is this the first time you've gotten in a draft with us, or is this your first time in the live stream? You've been watching for 3 years and you haven't made it to a stream? The busiest man on the planet? Okay. Wando Robinson 170. I mean, I don't even know what we want at this point. I feel like we have such a well-balanced team. Like, I would like to see some tight ends get drafted because I know we're not taking those. Outside of that, I feel like we can kind of do anything. Pat Bryant 173 would have been interesting on the way back around for us. I got an idea. Hear me out. Hear me out. Okay. What is about to happen? Matthew Stafford goes. We will reach on Amari Cooper. I like Amari at this cost with the Geno stack because he will be very low owned in the tournament overall. So we'll go ahead and we will take Amari. Eric says, no, I've watched, but I just never commented because I didn't think you'd answer. I'm so hyped. Won 4 out of 5 leagues last year for 5,000 and completed a 3-peat. That is insane. Congrats. But Dom says, like number 500. So it looks like a bunch of people saying 500. So spam the chat with your flockfantasy.com username and we will get you, we'll do a giveaway for free trade question, start set question. I think we're going to have to take a running back here for sure. We're going to go Will Shipley at 184. I see we have one question. Zach says, how do I access the draft guides on Flock Fantasy? I signed up for the season pass. Go ahead on the left sidebar for the site. You will see a post tab. I'll probably need to tell the guys to make this say draft guides again. But click that and then you'll be able to access all the draft guides. Not only for myself, but from everybody. And let's see, we got DAG as a username on the site. Let's see if we can find you and hook you up with a free question or a free couple vouchers. Okay, Flock users, DAG. Okay, this is just, the issue is this is maybe too short of a name where I can't find you. So I'm not even going to, this may be an issue on my end. This may not even be an issue on your end, but I can't find you, my friend. We're going to have to move on. I'm sorry. I can't even say like, oh, that person didn't use code FLOCK. That's why we can't find them. So I just type in the first 3 letters and a bunch of names pull up. Jared Erivian. Okay, I don't think you use code FLOCK though, because I can type that in. You're not showing. Other Jareds are. Now, Rowdy Derby, found you, my friend. So we can go ahead and get you set up. See that you already have a season pass, so you should have some free vouchers on your account as is. But let me send you over an additional free trade question and start set question voucher. Okay. And here with our next 2 picks, like I guess we could go with the third quarterback if we wanted to. So I probably should have gone with the third quarterback. We maybe botched it. Actually, no, it's not too late. We fine. But what's our situation when it comes to running back? We have Kyron, James Cook, Etienne, Braylon, Shipley. I think we can be done at running back. We're done at tight end for sure. We're going to be weak at one position. We're either going to be weak at quarterback, we're going to be weak at running back, or we're going to be weak at wide receiver. We'll see. Like, God, what should we do? Dom says, I use the wrong code. How to change the flag? You can't change codes on the site. I'm sorry, my friend. McMillan goes 199. Harold Faninoff. I don't know what to do. I just don't have the answer. We're gonna draft as if we got quarterback right. That's what we're gonna do. We'll take Jalen Coker here at receiver, and then we're gonna take a 6 running back. Because here's my thing: if we have the Mahomes onslaught, we have Mahomes and Rice, Mahomes and Hollywood, Mahomes and Kelsey. We have the double stack Geno with both Bowers and Amari. We drafted as if Patrick Mahomes is going to get back to what he was 3 years ago. If that doesn't happen, we may as well just be toast here. So I don't know if we like a third quarterback here like Daniel Jones just gets us so many points that I want to just take him, but I don't think we can. Yoshi Vosh goes 204. Christian Watson 205. Okay. We will take Justice Hill as RB6. I think we usable weeks from Hill. Again, regular redraft league, no interest. How do you know when you're going to put him in your lineup? You never would. But in an underdog best ball draft, he'll randomly slide into your lineup. So this team, definitely not as good as the one we just drafted right beforehand, but it's all right. It's not the worst thing I've ever done. I mean, I've done some pretty bad things. Elijah, if you need help getting the vouchers, please send a message in the side issue section of the Discord and we'll help you out. But I think that should be it. Muck, I see you says some of the sidebar text on flockfantasy.com is being blocked by the scroll bar on my MacBook Air. Please send a screenshot in the side issue section. Like I said, the devs just made a massive update to the site. So some of the cosmetic stuff like that, I'm sure will need to be tweaked, and your feedback's going to help us a ton with that. So please send that over. But anyway, today's been a very successful day. We've done 3 streams. Tomorrow, we're going to be live for even longer. I'm going to have a ridiculous amount that we need to do when it comes to roster reviews, questions, the whole 9 yards. Obviously, we're giving away a ton of free questions in the live streams every single night. But if you wanted to get additional free vouchers, if you wanted to get access to everything on flockfantasy.com, which, in my opinion, you're definitely going to want with all the upgrades coming. And honestly, it's already phenomenal value. But $34 Flock Fantasy Season Pass. Flockfantasy.com. Use code FLOCK. You get access to all the rankings throughout the entire year. Trade calculator, my team's page, the whole 9 yards. And if you use code FLOCK, you're going to get a free start sit question and a free trade question. And if you wanted the draft sheets, there is a cheaper way to get it, though. And that's going to be taking advantage of the offer that we have with Underdog Fantasy, where if you use promo code FLOCK when you sign up to Underdog Fantasy, with the link in the description and the comment section and the live chat, you will get all the free draft sheets. And on top of that, if you play $5 on Underdog, you're going to be getting $50 added into your account with code FLOCK. So make sure you take advantage of that. It's the best promo that they've ever run. We're going to be doing a ton of fun things with Underdog, not only with the Flock drafts that we've been doing on the live streams every night, but also with some Flock pick 'em packs at the beginning of the year that I'm really excited about. So thank you for hanging out with me today. I can't believe that the season's almost here. And yeah, couldn't be more excited. And really hope I get to see you out in the live stream tomorrow night.